I've ran 3 100-mile races. I have also deadlifted 315. I've run a sub 3 hour marathon and I've benched 225. My squat's not amazing. It's like 250. That's my max. But if you've been around this channel for a while, you know I'm a runner and my strength lifting is to support my running. It's not that I'm a hybrid athlete. I don't view it that way. There are people out there who are hybrid athletes, and I think that's awesome. What I'm doing is trying to do the right things to support my running. And so this is really where we need to start, because I want to address strength training when you're running and what I've learned from strength training. But ultimately, the question is, what is your goal? And I can't address all the goals in one video. It's easier if I get a question of like, hey, what do you think about this? Or how should I do this and add this? The reason why I'm making this video is I got a comment where the guy said, do you feel like your running has affected, I think he asked if my running has affected my lifting. I can't remember if it was the other way around, but the point being, he was making a point that like one takes away from the other. And so I want to address this a little bit and talk about some things that might be helpful for you as a runner that is lifting, because it's different than a lifter who starts to run, or even a hybrid athlete. And I have nothing wrong with hybrid athletes. I'm just trying to be the best runner I can be. I know strength training helps with that. So I want to talk about some things from the runner's perspective, adding weightlifting into training programs. You might hear some other things about weightlifting that I've come to learn, but ultimately, I'm not the bodybuilder you should take advice from. I'm not the guy who lifts crazy heavy. I'm the runner who runs far and does a lot of running and also lifts on the side. So I just want to put that out there. And this leads me to my first point. The most important thing, I believe, I'm biased, but it worked for me. The most important thing when it comes to running and implementing strength training is that you focus on form, not weight. And ego is everywhere in the world. Like, ego is in the gym, with running, work, family, all of it, right? The scariest thing that happens is people's ego in the gym and lifting way too heavy. Me and my best friend, we send videos back and forth about people with really bad form and they're like squatting 700 pounds and it's like a quarter rep. I laugh at it because I'm like, I can't believe that guy would do that. But honestly, that is scary, and you can really hurt yourself with lifting, just like you can really hurt yourself with running. But here's the thing. I've never really hurt myself in the gym. I've had maybe a tweaked neck, or like my back hurts a little bit, and so I have to work on my form for deadlifting or squatting or whatever, but I've never had a serious injury. And there's this online running joke about, just like pushing through shoulder day because your shoulder hurts, or back pain, or all those things. And ultimately, the memes are funny, but I don't want to live that life. I don't want to be in pain. And so I think the best thing you can do when you're getting into the gym is in between your sets. This is what I would do. In between your sets, you YouTube or Google form for exercise. So form for bench, form for shoulder press, whatever it is. And watch like 3 or 4 videos, because a lot of these videos, when you Google it, at least it like rises to the top of the searches. It's, at least what I was seeing was like these 1 minute or 90-second videos that really explain form super well. So you could watch one of those each rest period of your sets, and you have a bunch of different perspectives, and then ultimately find what works for you. That's the point. Every body is different. I do believe that. And so, there's some form adjustments that you get, and then you realize that doesn't work for you. And that's fine. You should explore this yourself. This is your body. You should figure out what works for you. But here's what happened to me in the gym is I started lifting with this guy, Mike the Viking. He's a G. I love that guy. I look up to him in a lot of different ways, as a father, as a husband. Like, he's a good role model. And he asked me to bench or like spot his bench press one day, and then we started working out that day, and we've hung out a ton since then. And as we started lifting together, he would tell me I needed to go up in weight, and he was like, you could lift so much heavier. And he was right. Like, my form was solid, and I built this base fitness that I started lifting heavier than I thought I could, because I was always scared to compromise my form. And so I was so focused on form that now I'm very healthy, and I think I do the right movements and I do them the right way. But now I can build up the strength a little bit more efficiently because I'm actually lifting a heavy enough weight where there's dramatic growth compared to doing like 2 rep maxes or like 30 rep maxes, because there's just so many philosophies when it comes to lifting. I just want to get across the point that you should really focus on your form, because long term that's good for you and you're not going to get injuries. And I'll say this before we move on. I am way more impressed by the kid who does perfect form with the bar on a squat than the guy who is like quarter squatting 400 pounds. And I know there's some philosophies out there, I should say this. I know there's philosophies about different ranges of motions, but when you can obviously tell they're ego lifting, I'm not impressed by you moving 700 pounds with very little range of motion compared to the guy who's bench or like squatting just the bar. Like, that's just the way I view it. I think it's better to not ego lift. And I know everyone has their different philosophies or why they're doing things. That's just personally my opinion, and it's my channel. So I can say what I want. Anyways, focus on good form. And then from there, you can really start to up the strength. The second thing I want to point out with lifting as a runner, especially if you're doing speed work, this is for you. I think leg day is super valuable and super important for running. It's hard to do that because then you also have running that you need to do. And you can really slow down your run. Like, if you do a leg day, the next day you're pretty sore, even 2 or 3 days you're really sore, and you're not as fast, and your heart rate's higher. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're able to get the other training in that you want. And so this is something that I've done for a long time that I think has helped me progress and set the PRs I've had or won. It's helped me win races. And the thing I do is I do speed work in the morning, and then I lift legs in the evening. So right now, currently, and for the most part, I do a speed workout, whether it's a track workout or it's tempo miles or it's on the trail and I'm running downhill fast. I lift that afternoon or evening because I can get the most out of my speed work and I'm on fresh legs, and then I still get my strength training in the afternoon or evening. And again, I told you, this is me being a runner who is using lifting to support that, so it makes sense for me to maximize my running and then go to lifting in the evening. You could flip it, like let's say the gym's more important to you. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. And so you lift heavy, you do leg day on Tuesday, and then in the afternoon you run or do some speed work. Or what you could also do is you could do like speed workout on Tuesday and lift Thursday. But I'm trying to get to the point where I can do multiple speed workouts a week without injuring myself. So it makes sense for me to like do speed work on Tuesday, lift on Thursday, and then do another speed session on Thursday or Friday if I'm recovered. So that's kind of my philosophy surrounding like getting faster and lifting at the same time, but that's coming from some guy who wants to be the best runner as possible. And I'm sure hybrid athletes could tell you something different. That's just not necessarily my goal and what I'm trying to do. So ultimately, you just have to think about what is your goal, and maybe you just want to enjoy the process of both, or you're just trying something new and seeing how fun it is. I will say, when I am not running or I've had off seasons, I go really hard in the gym. I might bulk even just a little bit more or put on a little bit more mass, and then it typically goes down when I start running again because I'm just, again, focused on running. So it's sad to see me lose muscle or lose weight because I'm extreme and I want to push things to the limit. So it's sad to see my strength go down. Like, I deadlifted 315 couple months ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I know I couldn't do that right now, but I was in the middle of a strength block. So just keep in mind that it's a balancing act, and maybe you want to be the hybrid athlete, like you want to go down that route. I would go find other videos. For me, I'm trying to support my running, as I've said. So I think it's important to put my running first and then fit in strength training. So currently what I do is I run 4 to 6 times a week, and then I lift 3 times a week. That'll change if I'm in an off season just because I love the gym. And then this is your daily reminder, maybe not daily, but this is your reminder to stretch too. That's really important. If you're not stretching, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like, come on, treat yourself right, you know. So I'm a certified yoga teacher, so I think that's obviously important. But hopefully you get something out of this. If not, I mean, sorry for wasting your time. But if you're at this point, you probably got something out of it. And I appreciate the comment from the guy who asking about lifting and running when you combine it. So if you like running content, that's what this channel is about. And I hope you consider subscribing, but if not, I still hope you got something out of this video, and I hope I get to see you in another video sometime soon. Peace.